All right, welcome back, everyone, on the Bordas and Bordas hotline of the Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, flanked by Gene Collier tonight, and you can call us at 412-575-2600. The thing I want to talk about before we go to the phone lines, Pat Narduzzi had his press conference today in advance of Oklahoma State. Pitt is a 13.5-point underdog at home to Oklahoma State, a team they really competed with last year out at their place and did well. But this is coming off a 33-14 loss to Penn State. Afterwards, it was James Franklin who decided to take the low road. When I don't think he had to do it, but he did, talking about, hey, this is the same. They treated it like a Super Bowl. We treat it like another Akron, which I think may have actually cost him a spot in the rankings, Gene, because those rankings came out later that night. And if he undervalued his own win, which he did by saying, to me, it's just like Akron. First of all, your game against Pitt last year cost you a chance of playing in a national championship game, so it should have been more meaningful than just that. What's for him? What does he need to gain by making that statement, do you think?
You know, when I first heard that statement, I thought it was just ungracious, unkind, but it's really not that complicated. It's just a stupid thing to say.
That's it. Stupid. And Pat Narduzzi had a chance to respond to it today, and he said, well, we took the high road, they took the low road. That's all he said. He could have said more, and I would have taken an even higher road and said, this is a rivalry. I don't understand why Penn State doesn't treat it as such, and it's that arrogance that is costing us a chance to renew the rivalry. So all of you people in the state of Pennsylvania who want it to return, look at that attitude that pervades up there, and that's it. They don't look at it as anything important to them, and they should, and that's where it stops. 412-575-2600. Let's go to the lines. We begin with Randy in Beaver Falls. Hey, Randy, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Bob and Gene?
Good, thanks.
Antonio Brown, man, he is a man. I mean, that dude is amazing, man. If it wasn't for him, we probably would have lost that game.
No doubt.
And as far as the kid, Deshaun Kaiser from Cleveland, he ain't bad. Cleveland better hold on to him, man.
Well, I mean, they drafted him, and they're going to give him a long leash. This is not a situation where they brought somebody in and said, hey, go on. If you don't play well in 2 games, we're going to get rid of you. Most of the quarterbacks they've had in the past fit that sort of description, Gene. He's a second-round pick. He's the youngest quarterback. I heard Drew Bledsoe. I don't know. I'd have to check that in the NFL. He's really young to be a starter in the NFL. I thought he played well.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. He threw, completed 20 of 30. It's the same percentage as Ben. Threw a touchdown pass. Was under terrific pressure and turned it into some things. Yeah, I mean, they might have something there.
Yeah, and they're going to be patient. They have every reason to be patient.
Why not?
Yeah, the expectations are rather low. Let's go to Dale in Brookline. Hey, Dale, how are you?
Hey, what's happening, Bob?
What's going on, Dale?
I watched Sam Bradford tonight, and I want to get your thoughts, what you think is going to happen, because of what he did to us last year.
You know, I think Sam Bradford tonight was, first of all, I don't think much of the New Orleans defense, and I think they made it fairly easy for him. Although, Gene, if you saw that game, he made some really good passes in really small windows. And he had 3 touchdown passes. You know, you forget that he was a Heisman winner and a #1 overall pick.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's back with his original, quarterback coach or offensive coordinator now in Shermer with the Vikings. And, that'll be a good game with the Steelers. I think the Steelers will win it, but the Vikings are good.
He also, had 2 ACL surgeries. I mean, he's had his problems. But when he's healthy and on, he's a dangerous guy, and I'm sure Mike Tomlin knows that's not going to be an easy assignment at all. All right, let's go out to Joe in Bridgeville. Hey, Joe, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I just want to talk about the Pitt-Penn State rivalry.
All right.
It just seems like no matter what Penn State does, it's no good. Like if we go to the Joe Paterno era, it's no good. If we go to the Franklin era and like Penn State's winning and top 10, it's no good. I mean, Franklin is creating his own brand now. We're forgetting about Joe Pa and the Joe Boss. We're moving on. And Pitt isn't really that good when you look at it compared to Penn State right now.
Okay, well, if you're going to base that on a rivalry, then I will tell you that Michigan has owned Penn State and Ohio State has owned Penn State over the last several years. Is that a rivalry? No. If you ask those teams,
didn't own them last year.
Yeah, but that was one win out of how many losses prior to that. My point is, it's a rivalry, and the fact that you don't want to admit it's a rivalry, to me, suggests arrogance on the part of that university and that coach. I don't understand why it's that difficult to admit.
look at the career record. Penn State has at least 15 or 20 more wins over them. And they dominated the Dorset era and the Marino era.
Okay.
So what more do you want?
All right, Gene, what are your take on this? Thanks for the call.
Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of this Pitt-Penn State arrangement. It's only for 4 years, right, Bob?
Yeah.
It's in September. I mean, college football rivalries in the purest sense are between teams who play each other in the last game of the year.
But you've got to be willing to play. They're not willing to play.
I know, Bob. I know, but I'm not upset about it.
I just like to see it as a football fan, as
I
someone
would like
who wants to
see
watch.
it as the last game of the year.
Would you rather watch
Every
Georgia
year.
State like you're going to see this week at Beaver Stadium?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Would you rather watch Akron?
No.
Okay. Would I rather watch Youngstown State? No, even though they almost lost. My point is, those aren't rivalries. If you're going to see people disinterested, why was it the seventh biggest crowd in Beaver Stadium history there that Saturday? It was supposed to be just not a rivalry. It's not anything big, right?
Well,
Seventh biggest crowd.
I'm not defending Penn
I'm
State's attitude toward it.
I'm just saying. I get annoyed hearing that it's not a rivalry when I know that it is, and people just don't want to admit these things. Let's go out to David in Finleyville. What's up, David? How you doing?
Good. How about you, Bob?
I'm
Thanks
good,
for taking
thanks.
my call.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask you and Gene, is this the year where the Steelers beat Brady and get to the Super Bowl? Thank you.
Gene?
Well, it's the year that the Chiefs beat Brady. I know that. The question is, can the Steelers get by the Chiefs for the moment? Brady was 16 for 36 in that game. He looked 40 years old. Oh, wait, he is 40 years old. I think the Steeler fans have to calm down about New England. Let's see if they can get anywhere first.
Yeah, but who would have thought that a third-round draft pick named Kareem Hunt would go in there and do what he did? You know, this is why you play the game and give guys opportunities. And this kid was terrific, and we'll see if it continues. They lost Eric Berry. That's a critical loss. Today we saw around the league a lot of damage to teams that need Allen Robinson from Jacksonville, and the Steelers have them on the schedule. He's out for the year, ACL. David Johnson, the outstanding running back for Bruce Arians, has a wrist surgery coming, and he could be done for 3 or 4 months. Who knows? So not good stuff. Anyway, we're going to take a break. Brad and Derek, hang on. We'll get to your calls when we come back right here live on Pittsburgh CW.